Hi, I'm Jamie, and today I'm going to be doing the 7 questions from We Happy Trans. Now, I first found out about these 7 questions about positivity about being trans years ago. I saw one of the 7 questions videos, and I thought, as soon as I'm open and out of the closet about being trans, I'm going to do one of these. And then I never did. And I looked it up recently. It looks like the We Happy Trans website hasn't been updated in about 4 years. Whoops. I thought, well, that shouldn't stop me. If I want to do the video, I can do the video. It doesn't matter if it's not going to get posted on their website. I can still put it on YouTube. No big deal. So that's what I'm going to do today. The first question is, what's your name? My name is Jamie Price, and I chose the name Jamie myself. And I used to have a middle name, but I didn't really think about it at the time when I put through my legal name change, and I just sort of never bothered to come up with a new middle name. Oh well. James was actually a nickname that I used online years and years ago, before I was even thinking about transitioning. I guess I was sort of testing out what it would feel like for everyone to call me by a more masculine name, and I really liked it and got kind of attached to it. So then when I actually was picking my name for all circumstances, not just online, I went back to that one, and I ended up liking Jamie better than James because it's more gender neutral. I do identify as genderqueer, not male, so I like having a name that can be perceived in a few different ways. The second question is, who has been most supportive of your gender transition? I'm pretty lucky. Most everyone in my life has been pretty supportive. Some people have had questions or had trouble getting used to the idea, but everyone's been pretty accepting about it, and doing their best to be supportive. Overall, I would say my spouse has been the very most supportive of everyone. Back when we first became a couple in our teens, my partner kind of knew that I had some gender issues happening, so it's never really been a surprise. The third question is, what do you most enjoy about your life since beginning transition? What about your current gender expression is most satisfying? I think the thing I find most satisfying is when people don't immediately assume I'm either male or female when they first meet me. If a stranger seems like they're avoiding calling me gendered words, it's not like I want to make people uncomfortable, but I do enjoy that apparently means I'm presenting my gender correctly, in that I'm not obviously either male or female. I don't feel like I'm either male or female, so it's nice when my look matches that. When I first started transitioning, my big goal was to stop people seeing me as female, so I tried to go super masculine. And then my wardrobe and my look got really lazy. It was just pants and button-up shirts every day, and no accessories. I used to really like wearing jewelry and stuff, so that was a little sad. And just recently I'm reincorporating some femininity into my look. Sometimes I wear makeup, sometimes I wear nail polish, sometimes I'm brave enough to wear really cute feminine shoes. Oh, and I'll show you my new baseball hat. This is my new hat, and I really like it because it's so flowery, and I recently got a shirt with flowers all over it too. Things like that really make me happy. I once read an article about the idea of gender euphoria. The idea is that a lot of people are familiar with the idea of gender dysphoria, where your gender expression makes you feel really unhappy and anxious and miserable. Gender euphoria is the opposite of that, where your gender expression makes you really excited and happy. Even though I don't want people to assume I'm female, I really do get a kick out of feminine things like flowers and nail polish and the color pink. So that's a really fun thing that I'm into lately. The fourth question is, who are your trans role models? So I mentioned that I saw a We Happy Trans video a long time ago, and that video was by Stephen Ira. And in that video he talked about how since he started transitioning, He is able to do femme without people assuming he's female. He can wear makeup and people still call him he. And that really spoke to me. That was actually a big influence on me deciding to start transitioning, because I wanted that as well. Also, a really big role model for me is Ray Spoon. They are an Albertan folk songwriter, and they use they pronouns. They're not a role model for me musically. Our music is totally different, but they speak pretty openly about their experience of people reacting to their transition and to their pronouns. I really appreciate that there is someone in the public eye who's sort of near to me, being an Albertan, and who is similar to me career-wise, being a musician, who does use they pronouns and is really clear that those are the only pronouns that are okay for them. That made me feel like it was okay for me to ask people to call me gender-neutral pronouns as well. I'm going to take this hat off. It's probably really bad for my lighting. The fifth question is, what changes would you like to see in the world? I would really like it if there was more representation for trans people in the media, and for more of that representation to be positive and happy. My favorite trans representation I've seen in the media is the character Nomi on Sense8, because her story in the show, it doesn't revolve around her being trans. It's not the only thing she's got going on. She's a hacker and she's figuring out the whole mystery of the plot line. At the same time, the fact that she's trans does influence what happens to her. There are some major things about her mom being transphobic in one or two of the episodes, and she has some scary medical related stuff that I won't spoil for you. So and also she's a pretty happy-go-lucky person, and she's got a girlfriend who loves her, and they've got a healthy romantic and sexual life, and it was really surprising for me when I saw those two characters have a sex scene together, because it was so happy, and it wasn't presented any differently from any of the other characters' sex scenes, and they never show what Nomi's genitals look like, which was a big deal to me, because it's not relevant. You don't need to know, right? I feel like a lot of shows make too big a deal about what kind of genitals people have, and it always makes me really uncomfortable. I enjoyed the movie Transamerica at the time that I saw it, but it still made me really uncomfortable that they showed the main character's private parts, because it seemed like it was meant to be shocking. Anyway, on Sense8, another thing I love is that the character is played by a trans woman, and was also written by two trans women. It kind of blows my mind that kind of representation exists at all, and at the same time, I wish there was way more like that. Yeah, that would make me really happy. Question 6 is, what are you doing to make those changes happen? I do try and put positive trans stuff out into the world where I can. I've written the Coming Out song, which is a funny, happy song about how ridiculous and awkward it is to come out as trans. I think that's a helpful perspective for people to just kind of laugh at that kind of awkwardness. And I wrote the song I Believe in Shades of Grey, which isn't like funny, happy-go-lucky per se, but it's not depressing either. But it's about the idea that everything is a spectrum, everything is complicated, including gender. As well, I wrote the musical My Boyfriend's Girlfriend, which was performed last year at the Fringe, and it includes a trans character who has some really stressful stuff going on, but there's also a lot of funny elements to the story, and it ends really positively with all the characters supporting each other and being really loving and caring. So yeah, where I do have opportunities to influence how trans people and transness are represented in the media, I do my best to make sure I'm putting out a positive message that matches my kind of happy-go-lucky nature. So question 7 is, tell us something special about you or your interests. I kind of feel like I already did that with talking about the music that I write and the musical, but as well I like programming for fun, even though I'm not employed to do it. And I like learning languages. I'm studying Japanese on Duolingo right now. I can solve a Rubik's Cube, and I love video games a lot. I spend a lot of time playing Mario Kart and Hearthstone, and actually that reminds me, I really want to get to my Zelda Breath of the Wild game at some point. Anyway, I think that's about it for my 7 questions. Let me know if you have any other comments or questions, and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye!